you start by introducing yourself?
Okay, I'm Felicity Troop. I'm a freshman in the McCain Family Honors College, and this is my first time taking University of FDH.
Hi, my name is Cassandra Hishida. I'm a sophomore at Fresno State studying environmental science, and I'm in the University 50 Digital Literacy class.
My name is Alexander Tran, and I'm a biology major, a second year here at Fresno State.
My name is Justin Tonaoka. I'm a first-year SMIT camp student currently and a biology major.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Parmita. I'm a junior in the McCain Family Honors College, and I'm studying business with an option marketing.
I'm Jacob Ellis. I'm a sophomore kinesiology major. Exercise science is my discipline, and I'm most likely pursuing physical therapy afterwards. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think that one of the most important things that I've taken away from this course is understanding, first of all, what the concept of digital and information literacy is. Because prior to this course, I've just grown up in, a generation where this hasn't really been a concept. We've just grown up with all this technological advantages, and we've never really stepped back and say, well, what are we getting out of this? So one of the most important things I've been able to use educationally is that in terms of research, I've very much not been using credible sources. And it was kind of a rude awakening to realize halfway through this course that there's so many other resources I could have been using if I had the digital literacy to know where to obtain them. And there's so many opportunities on this campus and sources that are paid for by my university fees that I have not been taking advantage of. I've been using the simple, average student method of just going through a simple Google search. So this class is, I would say, bittersweet, because it was a rude awakening to realize, for the past 2.5 years, I've been going about things not in the best fashion, but it's also been great to know that, when I'm pursuing graduate work, I have the knowledge of all these different digital tools that I can really be using to do better research.
Excellent.
I think that the biggest thing I've taken away from the course is that there's just a much bigger world out there in terms of the tools out there, the online tools, than I knew before. And there are a lot more ways to use even things that I did know than I realized. So I think overall that just learning the magnitude and, I've learned just a small piece of such a big world.
Well, a lot of things, it's just been expanding knowledge that I already have.
Okay.
As far as things you can do, just looking more at the whole big picture. I don't know, for example, working with our nonprofit, I use Instagram in my everyday life, but then we talked about ways to use Instagram to promote the nonprofit, to promote their name, and just like a new way of looking at things that I already knew, in addition to learning about new things, and the different tools available to me through the university and just online in general.
Okay.
So I think some of the most important things I've learned is just how effective and how much influence these media sites have in the digital space, because a lot of people know about their presence, about the basic things like Facebook, for instance, just staying in connectivity with friends, with relatives, but all these different social media sites have so much more capability than just that communication. You have the power to reach out to all kinds of different people across the world, convey ideas, and impart knowledge onto anyone who can follow you, anyone who sees what you're writing. And I just think I just found through this class that there's so much more you can do with the tools that you're presented, and they just let you to go that much farther when you're developing and spreading ideas.
Okay.
Well, my first thing that I would say I've taken away from it is I didn't know how in-depth it was, because I'm very social media, internet savvy. I always have been since I was young. I didn't know there was so much in depth, not just in the amount of potential social media sites, but just how much deeper they go than I've ever experienced before. So not just specifically stuff I've taken away, but the overall concept that social media can go so deep is what I've taken away from.
Definitely. With social media, I feel like I have a pretty strong grasping of that. I am a marketing major, so we do learn a lot about different social media tools. However, this class gave it kind of a different dynamic to using social media, using it as, networking professionally. And I kind of was thinking about different ways I can add value to my own social media. So it was kind of an introspective aspect to this class where I said, am I portraying myself and my brand as well as I'd like on social media? Is this what I want people to think of me? Because, back in a few years ago, I feel like people were on Facebook, posting statuses about the most random things like, I'm eating cheese for dinner, literally random stuff that does not really promote a strong social media presence. And the lessons that we've learned in this class is how to utilize these tools to their true advantage to building this brand that can help you network. So I know we're friends on Facebook. I hope that you've seen an improvement with just the quality of the posts that I have. It's not even, I've taken away from posting less on all outlets, and that when I am posting, it's really because there's something I have to share with my audience, and it's something that they'd like to actually read. So that's what I've definitely learned and taken away from this class is how to use those tools more efficiently and effectively.
That kind of ties in with the last question, that in the way that it's another thing that we, like for me, for instance, I knew how to use the basic functions of the tools, but I've learned that there's so much that goes beyond the traditional choices like Facebook or Twitter. The more presentational tools like Prezi, I found that was more, it was a great dynamic way to spread your ideas, and they have all these kinds of different features that cater to all kinds of different learning styles, all kinds of different ways you want to present them. So in a way, these social media tools not only act as ways of communication, but also ways to cater to different people, spread your ideas, get them out there in ways that you think would be most efficient.
Okay.
It's hard to say. I feel like I learned a lot of different things that are important. I think for me, probably one of the most useful concepts that I learned about was the Creative Commons topic that we talked about last week. I think that just brought the way people use creativity and like digital media into a different light, and I'll definitely be taking advantage of those like the Creative Commons licenses that you can get.
Well, I don't know, that's hard. We've learned a lot of stuff. But I know one thing that I've already just applied recently was the new things I learned in the plagiarism workshop. I mean, I always thought plagiarism, I mean, I've known about plagiarism, but to me it was always more of a copy and pasting, don't do that. But it's a very serious problem and not something you want to be on your record. So just knowing specific things such as the number of words strung together from a journal. Sometimes it's hard not to use a certain phrase or something, but you need to be aware of that. And so that's something I've applied just recently, writing papers in my class. So.
The most important concept I think I've learned is how there's many different sites that you might not be familiar with or that you might not have heard of before, but that you can use these different sites for a different aspect in your social media campaign. And how if you use a cohort of different sites, you can effectively get each aspect of social media and efficiently spearhead your campaign.
I think one of the most important concepts was, for me, it was the whole section on research, and especially with the bibliography, the annotated bibliography that we did. I found that really helpful because as a science major myself, I'm going to be doing a lot of the different papers like that, a lot of research, and just learning how to sort through, because the web presents so much information that it's hard to find what you need, hard to find things that are appropriate. So I think the section about finding the information that would be useful for you, the information that is not needed, and push that away to the side. It really helps you focus on your idea. It helps to prevent that kind of period of where you don't know what to do with all that you have. It really helps you keep organized, so that's one of the things I found most useful.
Out of all the concepts, I would have to say reliable sources, because to be honest, I'm a Wikipedia guy. I love Wikipedia, and I understand in my heart that it's not necessarily 100% valid for research papers, and so getting that knowledge of figuring out what is a reliable source, because my thing is I don't know what's a reliable source, so Wikipedia works for me. But now that I've gained a knowledge and experience and a respect for finding reliable sources, I feel that my knowledge of it has grown.
So now you can use Wikipedia effectively.
Yeah, and find other sites without being afraid of their legitimacy, because I can look it up now.
I would say, once again, just digital literacy, just really understanding how to use different tools in terms of educational values. So that's been the most important thing for me, because as I was just explaining to you, I really, after this course and after my undergraduate studies, I want to go into research. So this is something that I think all undergraduate students would benefit from, because there is an extreme lack of literacy within all college students about how to take advantage of all these tools. Yes, definitely. I was talking to one of my friends, and I know she emailed you to say that she wanted to come sit in this class because she thought it was so interesting that within her work in MCJ that she never really encountered something like this. So she came to one class, and it was a social media boot camp, and she actually created accounts after learning about all the different tools, and she said it's helped her in her internship. So I think that really shows that you let another student from outside of Smith Camp come in and walk into a class, and she left with this full, understanding of different tools that she could be using. So yes, definitely should be revised. And I do want to comment that I love the fact that it's a hybrid class because it's efficient. I feel that I can get what I need from the lecture portion, and then I am on my own in terms of online. So it's been one of the most efficient classes I've ever taken at Fresno State. I've taken quite a few classes, so I do like the fact that it's hybrid, and I think that other students would love the fact that they have still interaction with professors, and it's efficient in terms of their time. And I was just at a conference this weekend with all CSU students, and they're saying that we're really leaning towards more online material, but we don't want to take away from that face-to-face time with the professor. So this class combines the best of both worlds, online and the face-to-face time, and of course you provide office hours. So I'd say this class is definitely very efficient.
I definitely think you should expand it to the general population, because there are many things on the internet and about social media that I myself didn't know before this course. And there's kind of things that you do know, like Facebook, or things that I'm used to, but there's things that I could do with it that I wasn't familiar with before. And so definitely I can now expand these websites and these different applications to do things in a more professional standpoint rather than just social.
I think it's definitely a good idea to make it available to all the other students too, because it's the things that I learned in here can benefit everyone, like especially that research that everyone's going to have to do. And I found that the interactivity of the course is really helpful too in learning about all of the different tools you have, because it's much more efficient to have that interactivity than just kind of blindly searching through everything. So having those tutorials really helps the guest speakers. So yeah, I think the rest of the students would definitely benefit from having this kind of course.
Example.
Definitely. I mean, especially the social media aspect, I could see how that could do, because I do feel that the division in the class, how there's literacy and social media. So the social media definitely can be offered, because, that's a growing, a never-ending growth is going on in that area of our world with social media. So I feel like everybody can benefit from it. And then there's the whole marketing aspect. I don't know if you could pull that into some kind of major or something. And then even the digital literacy, in the same way that we have our freshman writing that we have to take. I think it's as important to learn how to get sources, because you do that freshman writing class and you might have bogus sources. So, especially how our internet age is growing, I think it's not only that it could be, but that it should be extended and possibly required. I wouldn't maybe go that far all the time, but could be a requirement in some aspects.
No, I would just say that I've been pleasantly surprised with this class. Again, I thought it would just be like, oh, here's Pinterest, and I know Pinterest.
I would say if you have the chance to take this course, you would definitely want to take this course, because I found it to be extremely helpful in it really helps in the gathering of your ideas. The organization of your ideas is, I think, the most important part. And when you have this group dynamic in your class where you're able to get together, share ideas, work together, it only helps to enhance all of those. So I think it's a really great course to take.
No, I just I just enjoyed this class, and I was surprised by how much I learned because I thought I knew about the internet. I thought I knew about social media, about all that stuff, but it's just I learned a lot. And it was very well handled, the amount of stuff we learned, and and I like the flexibility of it because with this kind of stuff, with technology especially, like handling, I mean, there were times we ran out of time, etc.
Right.
It was so flexible that it's like we're just learning about social media. You know, we cover all the bases, or we leave a couple, or cover an extra couple. We're still learning the basic concepts, and I like how we tackled the concepts rather than just focusing on this is what a picture sharing site is. It was more of this is why you would use a picture sharing site. So then when there's a million picture sharing sites in the future, we can use them because it's the evolution of it, how it's able to be evolved and changed for the future. That's really cool. So.
I'd really encourage students, if this is going to students, for them to really think about just the way they've been using their online tools and to really branch out on their literacy and read up on different ways they can be researching and different ways they can be establishing a social media presence and different social media tools that they may have not even thought of because they're going with the mainstream. But this class really teaches you what's cutting edge, what's brand new. I mean, today we just listened to a presentation on Vine, which I just heard go viral about last week. So really getting in touch with what those tools can do for you, not only professionally, but socially as well.